بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أما بعد فقد قال الحكيم في كتابه الكريم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Dear brothers and sisters, in this session I'm going to explain the rules of those things which invalidate the fast or things which make the fast void. Before explaining the rules and giving the details, I would like to make a short reference to the niyyah of fasting. As you know very well, no religious act, no ibadah and no worship is valid without niyyah. Niyyah is the cornerstone of the whole edifice, of the whole structure of prayer and act of worship. Whatever the act of worship may be, it has to be coupled with niyyah. Now when it comes to fasting, one has to form the intention that he should abstain from eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, submerging his head under water, vomiting and enema and a lot of other things from dawn to dusk. He has to have the niyyah and keep the niyyah with him, that he will not eat anything, that he will not do anything that invalidates his fast. If a person forgets to make his niyyah, until before midday, he has to make the niyyah, he has to form his intention about fasting. If he delays the niyyah and does not form his intention about observing fast, then again he cannot eat and drink anything, he cannot do anything that invalidate his fast, but he should also give a qada of that day as an obligatory precaution. He should observe the qada of that day because he did not form his intention before dhuhr, before the midday. It is necessary to form your intention and to make your niyyah before dawn, when you eat sahari or when you eat the food before dawn. You should keep the niyyah and the intention with you, and so far as you are fasting, you cannot break your niyyah. You cannot relinquish from your niyyah. You cannot give up. If you give it up, if you decide not to fast for a moment, your fast will become void. And it is as though you have broken it. It is as though you have made it void, because you have relinquished from fasting. Though you did not eat anything, you did not drink anything, you did not do anything that invalidates the fast, but you just gave up your intention to fast. So, intention should always be there. Of course, you are not always mindful to have and to think and to be aware or conscious of your niyyah, but one should not deliberately and intentionally decide to break his fast by giving up his niyyah and intention. That is very important. Now, dear brothers and sisters, as I said, there are 9 things which invalidate the fast. What are those 9 things? I will enumerate, I will count them for you. The first is eating and drinking. I will then explain, of course, give the details and provide you with the necessary details regarding each item. Eating and drinking is the first invalidating agent. The second one is sexual intercourse. The third one is masturbation, which is a kind of self-abuse resulting in ejaculation. Masturbation means self-gratification. And the fourth is ascribing lies to Almighty Allah, to His Prophet, and to His successors. The fifth one is swallowing thick dust. Thick dust. The sixth one is immersing one's head under water. And the seventh one is remaining in janaba or remaining in hayd and nifas. The eighth one is enema with liquids. Enema with liquids. And the ninth one is vomiting, intentionally vomiting or deliberately vomiting, not forgetfully or unintentionally. Now, these are the 9 invalidating agents, the 9 things that make your fast void. Coming to the details, because I have to explain the rules and the different aspects of eating and drinking and the other things which invalidate the fast. Now, if a person, there is no doubt, if a person eats or drinks something, it does not make any difference whether that thing is a haram thing or a halal, an essentially halal object. That will make his fast void. He has to abstain from eating and drinking from dawn, from the time of adhan, when the adhan is said for Fajr prayer, until dusk, until it is dark, and it is the time for Maghrib prayer. Of course, if you forget to abstain from eating and drinking, and if you eat something forgetfully or by mistake, that will not make your fast void. For example, you are not conscious of the fact that you are observing fast, and you are not mindful, and all of a sudden you drink a cup of water or maybe eat a morsel of food, that will not invalidate your fast, because you did not deliberately break your fast. You did not eat it while remembering that you are fasting. You ate that thing, or you drank that cup of water forgetfully. In the same way, if you are forced, if you are compelled to eat something, for example, you are fasting, and you are a prisoner of war, or you are in the custody of and the police, for example, and you are forced to eat something, forced to take something, that will not make you fast. As long as you are compelled to do something, your fast will not be broken, your fast will not be made void. The question which is normally asked by people from the ground religious authorities, and that is whether taking injections will invalidate the fast or not. The religious authorities have explained the rules in such a manner that if the injections are comative, if they are not meant for giving energy and nutrition or supplying nutrition to the body, then those injections will not make the fast void. For example, you are suffering from pain and you take a comative injection, that will not make your fast void. Only that injection, according to some scholars, will make your fast void if that is meant to give you some kind of energy or food or maybe nutrition. You should not take that kind of injection. Another question which is normally asked by people is that when you have eaten food, there are particles of food in your mouth and they are in between your teeth. What if you swallow them? Of course, if you swallow those particles of food, it will make your fast void. You cannot swallow them. And you have to, as a measure of precaution, you have to brush your teeth before dawn and before the time for adhan, because when you go to sleep, you might have some particles of food in your mouth. You have to brush your mouth and to make sure that no particles of food are left in between your teeth. Now, as far as brushing your teeth with toothpaste is concerned, the ground religious authorities have said that toothbrush or brushing your teeth will not make your fast void. They will not make your fast invalid, provided that you do not swallow anything from the toothpaste, and you do not drink anything, and you do not let anything go down your throat. That will not make your fast void. If you are confident, if you are sure that nothing will go down your throat and nothing will get into your stomach, then you are allowed to brush your teeth. Even if you are fasting during the day, you are allowed to brush your teeth. And of course, you can control yourself. You can control the saliva, the toothpaste, and everything, and you can prevent everything from going down into your stomach. As far as the inhaler is concerned, because some people have serious breathing problem, they cannot breathe, and they have to use the inhaler or they spray a special kind of spray to make the breathing easier for themselves. Of course, using the inhaler is also allowed. There is no objection, there is no problem in using the inhaler, provided that no substances go down into the stomach. And of course, as far as I know, it is a kind of oxygen that is sprayed into the nostrils, and there's no substance to go down into the nostrils and to invalidate the fast. So using inhalers is generally allowed, and there is no problem in using it. Another question which is also a matter of concern for some people is that they ask whether swallowing the saliva, which contains no mucus, no phlegm, is allowed or not. Of course, swallowing the saliva is allowed, and there is no problem in it. And even if it is in a large quantity, you have saliva gathered in your mouth and you want to swallow it, it will not make your fast void, because it's not considered to be an external moisture, external liquid coming out from somewhere else. It has gathered under your tongue, and it will not make your fast void. Now what about the phlegm and the mucus? Because sometimes some people, especially those who observe fast, they feel that there is some kind of phlegm and mucus in their throat. Will it invalidate the fast? Of course, the religious authorities have said that there is no harm in swallowing one's phlegm or mucus from head and chest, as long as it does not come up to one's mouth. If it does not come up to one's mouth, there is no objection if you swallow it, because it's not within your control. It is there, and sometimes it goes down by itself. But even if it is under your control, but you cannot bring it out, you cannot throw it out, then there is no problem if you swallow it. And if it has come up into your mouth, the ground religious authorities have said that as an obligatory precaution, you must not swallow it. You must not swallow the phlegm that has come out up into your mouth. Now, brothers and sisters, sometimes you happen to go to a place where the days are long and the nights are short. There are some countries where you have sun rays and sunlight 23 hours a day, and there's only 1 hour of darkness, 1 hour night there, like countries in the northern European or northern hemisphere, like Norway, Finland, or Alaska, and maybe a part of Canada. There are Muslims living there. The question is it necessary for them to abstain from eating and drinking? Because we are discussing now about eating and drinking. Is it permissible or is it necessary for them to observe fast 23 hours a day? Of course, the ground religious authorities have said that it is still necessary for them to observe fast, even if the days are long, even if it is hard and difficult for them to observe fast. If, of course, they can, if they can. If it is not within their ability to observe fast for 23 hours a day, then the obligation is forfeited. It's not necessary for them to observe fast if it is not possible for them. And of course, some scholars have said that if it is possible for them, they have to migrate to another country or another place where the days are longer, the days are shorter and the nights are longer. If it is possible, they have to migrate. But if it is not possible, then they have to give the qada of the fast in the shorter days. When the days are shorter, they have to observe the qada of the missed fast. Now, when it comes to some places in the northern hemisphere where there is daylight for 6 months, or maybe darkness for 6 months, what are Muslims supposed to do there? Because they have daylight throughout the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is sunlight, and the sunlight continues for 6 months. It is in the sky. What should Muslims do? Here the fatwa, the verdicts are different. Different scholars have given different verdicts. Some grand maraje have said that it is necessary for Muslims to leave that area and to move to some other places in order to fast, if it is possible for them. If it is not possible for them, then they can break their fast, and they should, of course, observe the qada at a later time, when there is, for example, whenever and it is possible. And some grand scholars have said that they have to consider a horizon or a town, like, for example, Mecca or Najaf or any capital cities. It does not make any difference whether you consider a capital city or a country as a whole, and consider its horizon as the horizon of the place where you are living. And then you have to offer your prayers according to that horizon and observe your fast according to the horizon of that country, according to the sunset and sunrise of that country. Of course, you have to make your own independent investigation as to the fatwa and verdicts of your own scholar. This is a general briefing, a general information given to you to just persuade you to make your own independent research. I'm not going to mention or give any names of any scholars, because it's not good to mention the name of one scholar and to neglect the name of another scholar. So this is a general, there is a difference as to the rules regarding the places where the days, where there is sunlight for 6 months and darkness for 6 months. So you have to seek the fatwa of your own marja, and maybe you have to send an email to your marja to get his answer to this question. Now, as far as those places where there is regular sunset, where there is regular sunrise, people are under the obligation to observe fast. Okay, some people say that, okay, we cannot tolerate, we cannot have the ability, and we do not have the ability to observe fast for such a long time. of course, as I mentioned, the obligation is forfeited if it is extremely difficult. But weakness cannot be a pretext, cannot be an excuse for breaking your fast. As I may have mentioned in the previous session, that weakness or feeling weak is not a good excuse for breaking your fast. Everybody who observes fast feels somehow weakness at the end of the day. He feels weakness. He feels affected by not drinking enough water and by not eating food. That is the effect, the natural effect of the fast. But if it is beyond your ability, and if you cannot observe fast because of some problem, then of course it's not necessary for you to observe fast. You have to give fidya of food stuffs. You have to give 750 grams of food stuffs, because all the scholars have said that if you cannot observe fast due to illness, due to a physical problem, then you have to give 1 mud of foodstuffs. 1 mud is equal to 750 grams. So instead of using the word mud, I will use the word 750 grams. So you have to give 750 grams of foodstuffs. It could be wheat, it could be barley, it could be noodles or rice. If you can afford, you can give all these things or one of these things to the poor, to a needy person who should be faithful, who should be Shia, who should be a practicing Muslim, and who should use the food for his own needs. You cannot give the food to non-Muslims, you cannot give to the food to followers of other sects, so give it to a needy Shia and a 12er Shia. Of course, if you are sick and if you fear that fasting might aggravate your health, it will worsen your health, it will intensify your sickness, your illness, then you cannot observe fast. Fasting is not allowed for such people for whom fasting is dangerous, for whom fasting is injurious. And if you consider it probably, it's not necessary to be certain that fasting is harmful or fasting affects your health negatively. If you consider it probable that fasting will affect your health and will intensify your problem and it will worsen your health situation, then of course you cannot observe fast. You must not observe fast, and you must eat and drink food. For example, there are many people who are suffering from kidney problem. They have kidney disease. They must drink water. Their body must not get dehydrated. They should receive enough liquid. Otherwise, their kidney will start aching, and their kidney will suffer problem. In this case, you cannot observe fast. And of course, if your problem continues to remain with you, if you continue to remain ill and you do not recover within the same year, then it's not necessary to observe the qada also. Observing qada is not required. But of course, you have to give 1 mud of food, 750 grams of foodstuffs to the poor. For each day, you must give 750 grams of foodstuffs to the poor. If you cannot, of course, observe fast even till the next Ramadan. Of course, if you can observe fast, if you can give the qada, if you can observe the qada of the missed fast, then it's not necessary to give 750 grams of foodstuffs. The qada will suffice. You will have to observe the qada, and that will make up. And there's nothing else that you should do. Inshallah, I will carry on the rules, the remaining rules regarding the other things which invalidate the fast. There are 8 other things which need to be discussed and which, according to scholars, make your fast void. They are the sexual intercourse, the remaining in janaba and hayd and nifas till dawn, of course enema with liquid, ascribing lies to God, and vomiting and swallowing thick dust. These are the things which invalidate the fast. Inshallah, I will come with the details in the next session. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا